back, everybody, for the second hour. That second hour. November 20th, 2013. Pamela from Indy, if you're still listening, get with the person who told you about this radio show, because they will be able to get the nutritional supplement that I recommended for you at the wholesale price, and they'll be able to tell you how to take them, right? Because we divide the doses over the course of the day, and if there's any negative side effects that happen, we're doing it incorrectly. This nutritional intervention should be 100% painless, 100% painless. And when we come up against a blood sugar or a blood pressure issue, the recommendation is to have whomever has the blood pressure and blood sugar issue measure their blood pressure and blood sugars every day. So you take the meds that the MD's recommended, or not, it's up to you, and track your blood sugar numbers and your blood pressure numbers every day. What we want to see within 4 weeks is a slow and steady reduction of the numbers. We want to see the numbers start to come down. And once the numbers are coming down, we're on the right track, and then it's only a matter of time until everything rolls in. If there's been absolutely zero change in the blood sugar or the blood pressure numbers in 4 weeks, then we need to increase the dosage of 1 or 2 of the supplements, or make sure that we've cleaned the diet up 100%. And eliminating the 10 bad foods is very, very, very important moving forward here. We must eliminate the 10 bad foods. And you can get that list for free at fireyourmdnow.com. As soon as you log into the website, a little window pops up that asks if you'd like to become to get my free newsletter once a month. And if you say, yes, I'd like to get that, and give us your email address, you're directed to a hidden page on my website, which contains the good food, bad food list that has a list of 10 foods that I don't even want you to look at, let alone eat. So check it out, Nutrify Your Body, get with the person who pointed you in my direction, and they'll tell you how to get the nutritional supplements at the wholesale price, and they'll also hold your hand for the first couple of weeks and tell you how to take them, because we're all in this together. And this is why Dr. Wallach, in his wisdom, the founder of Youngevity, set Youngevity up as a network business, because everybody is sick and tired of the nonsense that the MD brings to the table, and there aren't a million Dr. Wallachs or Dr. Gliddens to go around. There aren't a million Ben Fuchs to go around. There's only a handful of us that know what to do here. So we're educating an army. We're educating an army because healing is easy. Healing isn't complicated. There's just a couple of fundamental things you need to learn. It's easy to do. It's very, very easy to do. So we've taught people in Indianapolis, our simple solutions for health recovery. It's because they're easy. So we teach them, they teach you, you teach your pastor, they teach their parishioner, and, whatever. And the word grows and spreads and populates through the culture, and this is how we're going to change the world. And quite frankly, I'm not really concerned with changing the world. I'm concerned with getting people healthy. The world turns on its own dime. And, we're not so grandiose to think that we can make a gigantic difference there, and I'm really not concerned with gigantic differences. What I am concerned with is eliminating needless suffering. Your husband is suffering needlessly. People that are dealing with chronic health conditions are suffering needlessly because they've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. They've leaned on the MD for advice when the MD has nothing for them. Let's go to Lonnie in Idaho. Oh, my goodness gracious. Lonnie wants to talk about ovarian cancer. That's a big, bad voodoo daddy. My mother died from ovarian cancer, Lonnie. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden. It was a surprise that I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. It started out with a car accident, and then later on I did everything, physical therapy and everything, with the doctors. And they sent me to a chiropractor, and I was doing really good there, and then I was sent to a masseuse who said I had water on my stomach. Then that ended up in the hospital, and they drained off 6,500 cc's of fluid. Then I was transferred by ambulance to another hospital. Ended up in 3 hospitals in 3 days. Then I was hooked up. They said I had ovarian cancer, and I would die if I didn't have this treatment.
Oh, wow.
They gave me mega doses of cisplatin and Taxol. And when I was told by my daughter that the doctors didn't tell me, but they told me that they better get my affairs in order, that I would not make it unless I followed their strict year plan. So I was so sick when I came home from the hospital after 10 days, I had my granddaughter, which lived next door, go and, bring me something. I was starving. And I realized that the diet was not my normal diet. About a year before that, I went on a gluten-free diet, and I lost, at that time, about 30 pounds. And my concern is, how long will it take me to kind of get rid of this chemotherapy? I've spent about 6 months now, and I still have, they said that it caused damage, nerve damage, the cisplatin and the Taxol, and
that's what they do, yeah.
I still have problems with my legs. The pain, I don't know whether it's pain from ovarian cancer or if it's pain from something else that runs from my hip down to my leg. I get up like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I feel so good except for this pain in my hip, and it shoots down to my ankle, and I don't really know if it's really ovarian cancer that I had at all.
All right. So let's talk about it, okay? And I'm really glad that you called, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So did they remove the ovaries?
No, they told me they needed me to go for about 6 more months of chemotherapy, and then they wanted to set me up to have everything removed.
Okay. Holy smokes. Did you get a second opinion at the time that the ovarian cancer was diagnosed?
Well, I went from 2 hospitals, and, they had me on pain. They had me on morphine. Yep. They had me on patches. They had me on so many things. And then when when they did give me this cisplatin and the Taxol, I was hallucinating.
Yeah.
And I remember I was hoping I didn't talk out loud.
Yeah, it's called chemo brain. I mean, it's not just you, Lonnie. It happens to everybody. It's called chemo brain. My mother's personality completely changed. I mean, she was the sweetest person in the world, and it was horrible what happened to her from a result of the chemotherapy.
Well, I was kind of scared because I had just lost a sister in April, and I was diagnosed in May, and she had breast cancer, and so I was scared.
Yeah, see, and this is how the MDs get you, because they play on your fear, and it's a captive audience. I mean, it's like you're giving somebody all these drugs, and then it's kind of like, they've kidnapped you without putting you in chains and locking you in a room. It's like a chemical kidnapping, and you're so drugged up and you're in such a state of fear that the doctor could tell you to jump off the roof of the hospital, and you'd probably do it because we trust the medical doctor.
Well, I've never trusted doctors. I just ended up in the hospital because I had the stomach pain. That I think it was the fluid that they drained off. Yeah. Then I found out that I had about I don't know how many staples in my liver that they took out in 1995. They took out my gallbladder. Then they left these staples in, and they said that the cancer had spread into the liver, and it was in the fluid that they drew out, which I had felt really good after they drained the fluid off my stomach. They took off about 6,500 cc's.
Yeah, you would feel better after that.
I didn't know how I got in that condition, other than in the beginning of the year I was in this car accident.
Well, see, this is the thing, right? I mean, nobody knows, and you would think that after $600 billion of research, people, doctors, oncologists would have a clue as to the operative causes of cancer and be able to help us develop strategies to avoid things that cause cancer, but they haven't.
Right.
Because they just haven't, because they're the wrong people for the job. I mean, they're the wrong people for the job. But we keep giving them money anyway because, well, I don't know why.
Well, I fired them all.
All right, well, so...
I haven't been back to a doctor since.
So are you still doing the chemo, though, right?
No. I lost all my hair.
Yeah.
I did it only once in the hospital, and they said they gave me a mega dose. I was so sick, I couldn't get out of bed when I came home from the hospital. I'm going, well, who's going to help me now?
Yeah, so, holy smokes, Lonnie.
You know, after 2 days, I refused to take anything. After 2 days, I started getting my strength back. Now I have to go get some supplies. So I called up my grandkids, and I says, you know, I was afraid I may not make it to town, so I figured I'd have some kids go with me.
All right. Well, listen, Lonnie, we're up against a hard break. You stick around with me, and I'm going to dial in some type of support, medical support, nutritional medical support strategy for you when we come back. We're talking to Lonnie from Idaho, the bravest woman in the state. Stick around. Well, Lonnie from Idaho fired her MD. What are you doing? So, Lonnie, look, here's the deal. The problem with all of this, number one, is that the only people that can legally treat cancer are MDs. It's illegal, capital I, for anybody other than an MD to treat cancer. You can do it. You can take a whack at it yourself, but you can't go to a medical professional in the United States for cancer treatment unless they're an oncologist. They'll get thrown in jail if they attempt to treat cancer without drug, chemo, or surgery. Were you aware of that? Do you know that?
I didn't know. I didn't know because I didn't know anything that I had cancer.
Well, all right, got it. So,
but I felt so terrible with the treatment. I said they're not going to get me back.
Yeah, well, you're a smart girl for that, and you know their treatments don't work. I wrote a book called The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. You can purchase it at my website and download it to a Kindle. I did a chapter in there on cancer, and there are 10 questions that every cancer patient needs to ask their oncologist. And if every cancer patient asked their oncologist these 10 questions politely with a witness, very few people would undergo the treatment because the MDs spin and pitch their treatment to you in an unscrupulous way in order to get you to do the treatment. The treatments don't work. Conventional cancer treatments do not work. By and large, they do not work. But, you know, the MD isn't going to tell you that it doesn't work. They're going to tell you that it's the only thing that you can do and you're going to die unless you do it, and just shut up and take the drugs because it's your only choice, right? And it's a problem. It's like racketeering, for goodness sake, I think. But in any event, so all that we have in the medical community is anecdotal evidence from people all around the world who have been diagnosed with cancer and who struck out on their own and did this, that, or the other thing and got 10% better, 50% better, 100% better, or whatever. So we don't treat cancer. It's illegal to treat cancer. And given your state of affairs, if I were you, in order to support and promote my body's immune system and just give my body an overall nutritional leg up, which is never a bad idea, I'll tell you what I would do. How much do you weigh?
Well, I started out at 230, and I'm down to 180.
Okay. So what I would do for 6 months, I would buy these products once a month for 6 months, and I would track somehow, either subjectively by writing down your symptoms on a little piece of paper and giving them a numerical grade once a week, and then tracking subjectively how you're doing over time, or objectively, every couple of months go and do a chiropractor or somebody who can draw blood and seeing if your blood values are improving or whatever, or just keep your fingers crossed. So in order to support and promote your body's ability to optimize its function, the recommendation would be 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals, 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals, 4 bottles of selenium, ultimate selenium, S like Sam, E, L like Larry, E, N like Nancy, IUM, 4 bottles of ultimate selenium, and as much of a product called Z Radical, Z like zebra, Radical, as you can afford. If you can afford a bottle of Z Radical a day, I would do it. If you can afford a bottle a week, I would do it. If you can afford a bottle a month, I would do it. Plus, you must stop eating the 10 foods that myself and my colleagues have determined are bad for you. Now, in addition to eliminating these 10 foods, if you have the experience that there's any other foods that aren't good for your body, then stop eating those too, but you must stop eating these 10 foods. And you can get that list for free, by the way, at my website, fireyourmdnow.com. As soon as you log on to the website, a box pops up, asks you if you want my free newsletter, and say yes, and then we'll give you the good food, bad list for free. So eliminate the 10 bad foods. Okay. Take those nutritional supplements every day for 6 months, and keep your fingers crossed.
Now, do you know that stage 3 ovarian cancer, is there supposed to be some kind of, like, chronic pain that goes with it?
Well, you see,
or is this what I'm feeling in my hip? I can't.
It's impossible to tell, because 1,000 different cancer patients of stage 3 ovarian cancer are all going to have different feelings and sensations based on their height, their weight, and reactions to the drugs that they've taken.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. See, from our point of view, because it's a holistic medical strategy, what we lean on is your feeling better in little bits and pieces across the board every couple of weeks. Your mood gets better, your energy gets better, your aches and pains get better, your sleep gets better. Things improve as things improve. That's how we do it. Money for nothing? I wish. It's called network marketing for a reason. For goodness sake, I'm searching for someone who wants to do this sometime. Part-time. I've got lots of people who are helping us sometime. I'm looking for someone who really wants to do it part-time, take the ball and run with it 20 hours a week. If you want to work your longevity business 20 hours a week, you will be able, in a very short amount of time, to grow your budget to fit your dreams. Grow your budget to fit your dreams. And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Let's go to Florida and talk to Irma, see what she's up to. Hey, Irma, thanks for waiting. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I have a friend of mine. She's about 58 years old, about 5'8", and 160 pounds, and she has MS. And she said something about the sheath on her muscles. I don't know what she's talking about, but she said she did not want to improve her immune system because her body would attack itself. Could you speak a little about that?
Yeah, she's an idiot, and the next time she goes to the restaurant, she should tell the waitress to bring her a clue, because that's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. However, the MDs have told her that, and she bought it hook, line, and sinker, so it's not her fault. It's not her fault. She has believed a false message. She has believed something that is untrue, right? I mean, years ago, everybody thought that the earth was flat, and everybody was wrong. And the best scientists in the world said, you know what, the earth is flat. And then, for 600 years, we justified slavery in this country. with the ridiculously idiotic notion that African Americans aren't really people, they're just animals, and they don't have a soul. And that's nonsense. But everybody believed it. The blacks didn't believe it. But all the slavers did. And so this is what happens, right? People tell somebody something, people in power, people with white coats and stethoscopes around their neck, tell you that it's an autoimmune disease and that your body is attacking itself, and you believe them, and they're nuts, they're wrong, they're incorrect. They are absolutely positively wrong about the relationship between autoimmunity and the disease process. For goodness sake, it's a fool's errand to believe an MD about anything having to do with a chronic illness. Now, if you want to talk to an MD about which scalpel to use to pull out a bullet from your arm, great. If you want to talk to an MD about which antibiotic to use if you have tuberculosis, great. If you want to talk to an MD about which heart and lung machine works best for a triple bypass, great, because that's their skill set. But talking to an MD about the pathoneogenesis of multiple sclerosis is a fool's errand because they are clueless. 100% clueless about it. Your friend has been played by MDs who think they know everything and who don't know a darn thing. From our point of view, multiple sclerosis is caused by the same thing that makes iron turn to rust, the same thing that makes mountains turn to dust, the same thing that makes wine turn to vinegar, the same thing that makes food go bad. It's oxidative damage. Oxidative damage to the central nervous system, we believe, is what causes multiple sclerosis. Now, what causes oxidative damage? Oil in a bottle and fried food, and then some more fried food, and then some more oil in a bottle, and then some salad dressing, and then some more fried food, and then a little bit more fried food, and then some well-done red meat, and then we're going to have some fried ice cream for dessert. Fried food, oil in a bottle, and the other 10 bad foods consistently deliver to the human body stuff that messes it up. Stuff that messes it up. And then the body doesn't have nutrients that it needs to fix itself and undo the mess up. Doesn't have it. It's like the vacuum cleaner of the body is clogged up and the dirt's just building up and building up and building up, and there ain't no way to vacuum it out anymore. And then something breaks, and then the MD comes along and tells you it's genetic, and they're so full of crap their eyes are black. For goodness sake, we need to stop listening to the MDs. So what we do when we're up against a central nervous system dysfunction like this is we recommend people stop eating food that's hurting the body. So you, me, your friend, everybody in the world, even the MDs, need to stop eating the 10 bad foods. It's mandatory. Your friend must eliminate from her diet these 10 foods. Number 2, she has to give the fire department of her body nutrients that it needs in order to work optimally. Because the fire department of our bodies puts out the fires of inflammation. Right? Our immune system is the police department of the body. It polices things and kills bad invaders. It kills bacteria, kills viruses, right? The fire department of the body puts out the fires of inflammation, and in order to, so we need to support that. And we do that by consuming nutrients that have antioxidants and selenium. Antioxidants and selenium support the fire department of the body and help the body put out the fires of inflammation caused by listening to your medical doctor tell you what foods to eat, for goodness sake.
But doctor, she says she doesn't have any bad bacteria in her body.
Well, yeah, she's missing the point. Multiple sclerosis is not a bacterial thing. Multiple sclerosis is damage to her nerves. And we believe the damage to the nerves is caused by oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is caused by oil in a bottle and fried food and the 8 other bad foods. So every time she eats a food that's inappropriate for her body, her nerves get damaged. And then they get damaged a little more. And then they get damaged a little more. It's not a bacterial thing. It's a chemical thing. There are chemicals in the food that she's eating that are hurting her nerves. And so our recommendation is, son of a gun, stop eating the food that's hurting the nerves, number 1. And then number 2, give your body the raw materials it needs to help the nerves. It's really pretty straightforward. So she's got to stop eating the 10 bad foods, and then she has to start eating a diet that's rich in cholesterol, high in cholesterol, because her nerves, the things that are damaged by multiple sclerosis, the part of her body that's damaged is made from cholesterol, among other things. It's made from cholesterol. So she needs to put cholesterol back into her body in large numbers so to give the body a fighting chance to help fix the nerve. That only makes sense. So she needs to eat a dozen eggs a day with butter and salt, or 6 eggs a day and chicken skin and turkey skin and full-fat yogurt and full-fat milk and full-fat milk and full-fat cheese and rare meat and butter. She needs to become the cholesterol queen of Florida. I mean, she needs to become the cholesterol poster child for a high cholesterol diet. Eat cholesterol till it's coming out of her ears. And the nutritional supplements that we recommend to support and promote central nervous system function are the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. So that's 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 4 boxes of Triple Treat chocolate a month. How about that? That's a bitter pill to swallow. But look, this has got nothing to do with immune system function. The MDs are wrong and we're right. So your friend basically needs to decide whom she's going to trust. The MDs or us. And in order to tip the scale in our favor, I would just counsel her to see, well, look, listening to the MDs up until now, where has that gotten her in her life? Listening to what the MDs have to say, what results has that delivered to her? Well, she got MS while she was listening to what the MDs have to say. She's probably got a bunch of other things wrong as well. So really, it's time we need to draw a line in the sand here, because you can't do it both ways. It's either our way or their way. And God bless you. Keep up the good work. From Florida, we're going to Virginia to talk to Jean about a blood sugar issue. Hey, Jean, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hello, Dr. Glidden.
What's going on, Jean? Give me some good news.
I don't know. I've been on the product about 3 days, and I noticed that I have a elevation in my sugar level. So I was wondering if that's normal when you start or what's going on.
Well, did you stop your blood sugar medication?
No.
All right. So how much did it go up?
Sometimes a good 100 points.
100 points?
Yeah,
now,
it was like sometimes it's good, but then I'm taking it up at the most high usually, which is maybe about 125, and I'm getting in the 200.
Huh. And you must have changed what you're eating somehow. What have you done differently with your diet?
Nothing different. Nothing different.
So you're eating the same foods, the same amounts, the same time.
Uh-huh.
The only thing that you've changed is you added the nutritional supplements into the bargain, and now your blood sugar's spiking.
Yeah.
No, that just makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. So how much do you weigh, Jean?
I weigh about 180.
All right. And tell me what you take for nutritional supplements every day. Tell me what you do.
Oh, let's see. I got the kit, the starter kit, and then I got the sweeties.
Yep.
And that's it.
So you got 1 healthy start pack and 1 bottle of sweeties.
Uh-huh.
All right. And when do you take, do you know that red powder that's in the healthy start pack?
It's the orange one?
Yeah, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine stuff.
I take that in the morning. I take that in the morning. I drink that with the water.
All right. How many scoops do you put in the water, and how long do you take to drink it down?
I put about 2 scoops, and I take about maybe 7 minutes, maybe a little less.
All right. So that's the problem. So you're drinking that way too quickly. All right?
Oh.
That's the problem. So here's what I want you to do instead. I want you to do 1 scoop in 12 ounces of water in the morning, and I want you to do 1 scoop in 12 ounces of water in the afternoon. And each time you make that 12-ounce solution, I want you to take 30 to 60 minutes. I want you to take half an hour to an hour to drink it down. I don't want you to slug it down. I want you just to sip it slowly over the course of an hour each time.
Okay, because I didn't know that. I'm just going by with the bald head on.
Well, I know. That's why I have a job, right? And I'm so glad that you called, because we need to dial this in appropriately, and we need to do it appropriately in order to get...
What about the other powder, the white light powder?
Yeah, the white powder. So here's how I want you to do that. I want you to do Well, here's all right. Here's how I want you to do that. I want you to do 1 scoop of the orange powder and 1 scoop of the white powder, mix them together in 12 ounces of water twice a day.
Okay.
So I want you to mix those two together, and I'll tell you what, Jean, they mix up best if you shake it. If you put it in some type of a little canister that's got a top on it, and then you shake it, or if you've got a blender, you can blend it up. But if you just try to stir it, especially that white powder, it gets all clumpy, right? So do 1 scoop of each in 12 ounces of water twice a day. Take 30 to 60 minutes each time to do it. And I want you to take 2 sweeties between breakfast and lunch and 2 sweeties between lunch and dinner on an empty stomach. Call me back in 7 days. All right, everybody, welcome back. Finishing it out. Where does the time go? Wednesday, November 20th. Hey, if you're an insider, this is Live Chat Marathon Week. Live Chat Marathon Week, available for Dr. Glidden insiders only. Are you an insider? If not, why not? What are you doing? Twiddling your thumbs? What are you doing? Buying those macchiatos at Starbucks? Is that what you're doing? 4 macchiatos, and that's a subscription for 1 month to my website. Now, which is better for your health, a macchiato a week or access to over 100 hours of archived health webinar information about the holistic perspective of the genesis of disease and the ability, clinically verified, science-based, clinically verified methods to support the recovery of the human body? Which is more important, that or 4 macchiatos? Now, look, macchiatos are great, right? But death is horrible. Pain and suffering is horrible. I'd rather have a little bit of education and a little less macchiato if I had to put them into the bargain. But goodness sakes, if you become a longevity distributor, you can have both. If you become a longevity distributor and do it part-time, you can own your own Starbucks. If you do it full-time, you can own the world. The financial opportunity that we bring to the table here is so remarkably awesome that we don't talk about it. I can't talk about it because you won't believe it. So rather than tell you what you can actually make a year, or for quite frankly a month, because you won't believe it, we'll tell you that, look, you want to get your vitamins for free, you want to learn how to make a couple extra $100 a month, maybe $1,000 a month, you join us and we'll show you how to do that. Now, we will show you how to do that. In point of fact, that is the tip of the iceberg, and the ability, the amount of income that you can generate every month, every year, is limited only by your mind and how much time you want to put into this business and whether or not you're coachable. If you're willing to put aside your preconceived notions, if you're willing to let us train you how to show people what we're doing, and then if you do it, if you go out and do it, part-time or even full-time, boy, wouldn't that be awesome? Where's my full-time rep? Come on in. I've got 2 full-time reps. I need 7 more. Give me 7 more full-time reps, and I will change the world. FireYourMDNow.com. FireYourMDNow.com. Click on Become an Insider. Join the revolution, why don't you? Join the longevity revolution. Let us hold your hand and show you how to make a difference. Show you how to lift your brothers and sisters and sons and daughters and cousins and nephews and nieces and grandparents, church members, family members, community members up into health. Let us show you how to do it. You know they need it because you know they're underneath the wheel. They're beneath the wheel of old-fashioned, outdated, dangerous, pharmaceutical-centrist, MD-directed therapeutics for chronic diseases. Everybody is up against it because everybody goes to the MD, because nobody even knows how to pronounce naturopath, let alone know what we do. We are the best-kept secret of medicine in the world, and you have access to it. You know more. You listen to this show, you're going to know more than your oncologist will. You're going to know more than your cardiologist will. You're going to know more than your orthopedic doctor will. Because you will slowly open your mind to the truth that healing is easy, and that all chronic disease is impacted by nutrient deficiencies. 100% across the board, there are no exceptions. Your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. When you give your body the stuff it needs, guess what? It fixes itself. Give your body the stuff it needs. FireYourMDNow.com. Become an insider. I'll see you tonight. Of those insiders that are listening, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, another live chat. The marathon continues. Until we meet in person, live long and prosper. Dr. Glidden, over and out.